Bannachten as Felch eru oyu, dus lesson elle, ons lessoenen Ceaghley. Welcome to another lesson in Lessons in Manx. Today we're going to be looking at Boggaghys. That's essentially softening, or what we'd call Lenition, and this is part of Ceaghley, or mutation, a very important idea in Celtic languages. This is part one. There's a lot to say on mutation. So today we're just going to look at the way the letters change. So we won't be looking at why they change, but we will be looking at how they change. Let's start by just mentioning what lenition is. So it's the change to the first consonant of a word, and it makes the sound softer, essentially. All of these letters can change in Manx. There are 19 letters or groups of letters that change mostly in different ways. Some change in similar ways. The important thing is that they always change to the same thing. Well, that's except for the groups with S in, and S can change differently, but that's something for a different lesson. So let's start by looking at these two letters, B and M, and they both change to the same thing when they lenite. They both change to V. And we can see this in an example if we take these two words, berde and morde. So boat and dog, when we mutate them, when we lenite them, we get verde and vorde. Straightforward enough. Let's have a look at these two, C and K, and they always change to CH. This gives you your ch sound, ch. So if we have a look at a couple of words, cas, which means foot, and ket, which means cat, these would change to chas and chet. Now let's have a look at P. So P is a nice and easy one. It just changes to PH, which gives you the same sound as you get in English, f. So we can take someone's name, Pell, and if we were talking to Pell, or we were saying that something belonged to him, we would say Fell. So P has lenited to PH. Let's check in and see how we're doing with our letters. So far we've got B, C, K, M, and P crossed off. So we're doing really well. We've got a good chunk of the letters done, but there are plenty left there to look at. So let's move on to CH, ch, S, SHT, and TH. Now these all change in the same way. They all change to H. So we can see this in some words, chit, which means coming, and sai, which means sitting. So we've got two verbs here this time. We haven't got two nouns, we've got two verbs. So lenition can occur in any number of words. So it's worth having a look at different types. So if we apply our lenition, we get hit and high. And that could happen for various reasons we'll look at in a different lesson. Let's look at it. SH, schachten here. This means a week. And if we lenite SH, we know what we're doing by now. We just get H, gives us schachten. Taru and talu. So taru is a bull, the animal, and talu is land, where you may find a bull. If we will lenite these, we know they also go to H. We get haru and halu. How are we doing? We've got a fair few of them done now, but still plenty left to do. So BW and MW. These letters essentially just disappear. In fact, they're in a whole group of letters that just disappear when you lenite them. So if we get rid of both B and M, we're left with just W. And we can see this in a word. So buer, which is another way to say beautiful or attractive.
And if we say mwing, which is a horse's mane, we can see that these lenite to both wech and wing. Okay, SL. Remember, we're just getting rid of the letter here, the first letter in the couple. So SL, if you've already guessed it, will just go to L. So something like slant, which means health, will just become land. F and STR. Now we're just going to get rid of F when we lenite it, and we're going to get rid of the S in the STR. So when we get rid of F, we tend to replace it with an apostrophe. Yeah, this is one where we let people know that there used to be an F there. Otherwise, it's quite difficult to work out sometimes where the word has come from. And with STR, we just get rid of the S altogether, and we're left with TR. So we take two words, verseg, which means a beard, and stroin, which means a nose. Here we're left with seg and troin. So we're nearly done. Just 4 left. And we've left these to last for different reasons, but let's have a quick look at QU. It's not too difficult, this one. It just changes to WH. So we can take a word like queel, which means wheel in English, and when we lenite it, it gives us wheel, to sound exactly like it does in English. J, again, straightforward, nothing tricky with this one. J just goes to Y. And we've seen this in a different lesson. Jiech, the imperative of the verb jiechen, it means look. And when we lenite it, we get jiech, which means looked in the past tense. Okay, just D and G left. I think we're going very well. We've covered a lot. So let's have a look at how these two behave. We've left these to last because these can be quite tricky. They change in slightly different ways depending on what's around them. So the most usual thing to do would just be to stick an H next to each. So DH, GH. The sound you're going to get from these, you probably go straight to R. That sound. It's the gargled G, R. But, as I said, these change differently depending on the letters that are around them or next to them, specifically the letter that follows. So there's a separate lesson on slender letters, and this is the thing that's affecting the change here, whether or not the following letter is slender or broad. For now, we'll just focus on O, which is a broad vowel, and I, which is a slender vowel. So we can see with Doris and Gut, we get differently Rarus and Ut. So the broad vowel has changed the letter to a R sound, whereas the slender vowel has changed it to a Y sound. Again, you'll definitely want to go over and see the lesson on slender letters to understand exactly what's going on there. But as long as we remember that for D and G, your sound will change depending on the letter that follows. So that's all of the letters and letter groups. They change in the same way all the time with lenition, so we don't have to worry about P changing to something other than PH. We don't have to worry about B changing to anything other than V. With that said, we did note that S is the exception, or any group of letters with S. But that's a completely different lesson, and again, it's linked to slender and broad vowels. So we'll need to understand those things before we can get into why exactly S changes in the way it does. So that's it for this lesson. As usual, der en nachiet. Until the next time, Gaelg Curel.